Adam Pearce came out and said, you know what, all of these men do have a claim to the World Heavyweight Championship. So what we're going to do at Clash in Paris is Seth Rollins, you are going to defend that title against Jey Uso, LA Knight and CM Punk in a fatal four-way match. The road to Clash in Paris is heating up, and it took a very interesting diversion, should I say, on this week's Monday Night Raw. We're 3 weeks away from the big show in Paris, and I don't think anybody saw what we got tonight as being one of the big matches that's going to happen on this card. Raw opened up with a coexisting angle around CM Punk and LA Knight. LA Knight, who was robbed of his World Heavyweight title match last week when we saw CM Punk come out and effectively cost him the match. There was a whole DQ finish and stuff like that. So, LA Knight didn't really get, a final shot at Seth Rollins. And CM Punk, we know, was the World Heavyweight Champion for 5 minutes at SummerSlam, and Seth Rollins came and cashed in on him. So both men do have a claim to the crown, to the title. However, they kind of went through this coexisting angle this past week on Raw. They had a tag team match in the main event against Braun and Braun from The Vision, finally named. And it was a really good match, but again, we didn't get an outcome. We saw Seth Rollins come out, and he, for I don't really know what reason, came and delivered a curb stomp, and that obviously, just the whole match got thrown out. Earlier on in the night, Seth Rollins had said he was leaving. Everything's taken care of. I'm leaving everything in you guys' hands, and I'm out of here. I'm on the private jet. Clearly wasn't the case. Early on in the night as well, we saw Jey Uso, who wasn't on Raw last week when the whole beatdown angle happened at the end of the show. He said, yeah, I was on some family business. That's why I wasn't on the episode. However, I still have a claim to the World Heavyweight title because I never got my rematch. Big man, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I don't know why you think you need a rematch, deserve a rematch. The champion isn't even who you lost the belt to at this point. Like, come on, it's a reach. Give it a rest. But I guess he took the de facto place of Roman Reigns as of what happened in the main event segment of last week's show in this week, where he was fighting alongside CM Punk and LA Knight to take down The Vision, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. So Jey Uso stepped in here. Adam Pearce was annoyed. He's had enough of the kerfuffle. He stepped out. And Adam Pearce is still pretty vexed at Seth Rollins for the whole ruse of the century. Adam Pearce came out and said, you know what? All of these men do have a claim to the World Heavyweight Championship. So what we're going to do at Clash in Paris is Seth Rollins, you are going to defend that title against Jey Uso, LA Knight and CM Punk in a fatal four-way match. Now, I think this is going to be really, really fun. I don't think the title's going to change hands. I think Seth Rollins will win. I think Jey Uso may have even just been put in there to take the pin. Who knows? But I think it's going to be really, really fun. WWE have got a real knack at doing these multi-man matches. We've seen it and we've all said it with the triple threat matches. The fatal four ways aren't far behind either. I think they really do a good job at having a really good, fun match when they get these, multiple men together in the same ring, or women for that matter. But if we're honest, this isn't what any of us saw coming. I think especially after the main event of last week's show and that main event segment that followed, especially with a lot of the news around Roman's schedule going into this particular show, Clash in Paris, it looked like it was going to be Roman Reigns, LA Knight and CM Punk in a six-man tag against The Vision, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. So that looked like it was going to be the direction. Clearly not the direction. They've pivoted. They're doing something else, which gives these guys all a world title match. Great for them, I think. Great for them. It's good. They're all kind of, in and around it. Like I said, Jey Uso probably being the furthest away from it. But let's get this done and then maybe let's, move on to some new challengers, or these guys will get more like single opportunities. Now, seemingly, Roman Reigns is still being advertised for this show, which is great, is brilliant. However, it looks like the direction for him is actually not going to be in this match, as we saw on Raw, and maybe Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed had like a vignette promo in the middle of the show where he talked about, earning Seth Rollins' respect, stealing the shoes of the tribal chief Roman Reigns and ultimately becoming the tribal thief with the Shulafalas around his neck, which I still think is a fantastic play on words of this whole situation. Now, it looked like the obvious direction was going to be Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns whenever we got that, because they had kind of done some things to build towards that. But having Bronson Reed as like a detour before we get to a Bron Breakker Roman Reigns, I think it's really good, and I think it's quite fitting for this show. I think Bronson Reed has got the upper hand on Roman Reigns on a couple of occasions now, especially around the whole shoes and stealing the Jordans. He's, plummeted Roman Reigns with tsunamis anytime he's seen him. So I do think this is a good time to do this match. And Bronson Reed is a great showcase for him. Like he said, he done the same thing to Seth Rollins, won his respect. So now if he gets the opportunity to, tangle with Roman Reigns in Paris, it's a really cool spectacle. Bronson Reed, someone that I thought should have been on the Mania card. Obviously, we know he got injured coming out of War Games, Survivor Series, I want to say. So, yeah, his WrestleMania just never happened because he was injured. But I'm glad to see he's kind of got back in where he left off before he got injured. So yeah, it looks like to me that Clash in Paris is building up nicely. We have a World Heavyweight title match, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus CM Punk versus Jey Uso. It looks like we're going to get Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed on that card as well. We had obviously previously been promised Stephanie Vaquer versus Naomi. Naomi, who wasn't on the show because of injury. Let's hope that's not like a real long-term thing or like a serious injury and just maybe 1 week that she needed to rest. We may even get an Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus the Kabuki Warriors, which I think would be really, really good. And over there on SmackDown, it looks like we could get Solo Sikoa defending the US title against Sami Zayn, who is a Raw guy, but he's involved in the SmackDown stuff now. I don't know. And of course, Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre, which we saw the beginnings of on SmackDown last week. So Clash in Paris is actually building up to be quite a good show. Well, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you're looking forward to this show, if you're looking forward to the World Heavyweight title match, the Fatal 4-Way, I think it's going to be a show stealer. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you liked today's video, hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Mex. I make videos on WWE and AEW. So if that sounds like something for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified every single time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.